What's going on, everybody? Guess what I'm riding? I'm on a Hemi. I'm on a Himiway. I haven't been on a Hemi in a minute. We're riding on the Zebra bike. I've been on the Cruiser and the Cruiser Step Through and the Escape bike, but this is my first time on any of their newer bikes. I think it was like last Thanksgiving, Black Friday, they came out with all their new models. The Cobra and the Cobra Pro and the Big Dog and the Zebra. This was one of the new models and my first chance to get out and ride it a little bit here. And full disclosure, this bike is here courtesy of Himiway. I did not purchase this Zebra. They sent this to me, asked if I could take a look, give it a try, and show people my experience with the bike. So here we go. This is the Zebra. This is the step over version, obviously. It comes in a step through as well. And you got two color choices. The step through is white, or you've got this like silver gray metallic for the step over version. And if you've not seen the Zebra or any videos on it, I'd be shocked because there's a lot of information out there on this bike, a ton of range tests and review videos. So let's do something different with this bike. I kind of gave Himiway the heads up. I said, if you allow me to get out on this Zebra, I'm going to do something different. I read all the specs online. I went to their website, I read all the specs about the bike, and there was one thing that really jumped out at me. I love my fat tires, right? I love these big fat tires on these e-bikes, and I think my audience does too. I think you guys really like the fat tire bikes, and the website says that this frame can accommodate a 4.8 inch tire. That's what I'm going to try on this thing. I want to see if it can and how much different does it look. I've never had a bike with that fat of tires. Never had a bike with 4.8 inch tires. These are 26x4. You know, if you want to be the guy riding with your crew of fat tire bikes and you want to have the fattest of fat tires, I'm going to try to show you how to do that today with the Zebra. So we're going to go back to the garage and I'm going to throw some new shoes on this Zebra. I've never shoed a horse, but I'm about to shoe a Zebra today, apparently. And on our ride back, let's talk about the ride experience a little bit on this Zebra bike. And actually, I want to show you one other thing. I want to point this out while it's stopped here. So the bike, it's longer than most fat tire bikes. It looks like someone squished it like this and it squirted out the sides. It's a really long bike. It's got a longer front rake. And when you're on pavement, the handlebars want to flop side to side. Just one little annoyance I found, not a huge deal, but it does have a longer rake and you kind of feel it in the steering a little bit. It just feel a little heavier in the steering with it raked out like that. And then of course the heavy fat tires, and it's about to get a lot heavier too when I put these larger tires on. But let's see, riding the Zebra, what can I tell you about it? The seat's pretty hard. I would change out the seat and I would add a suspension seat post as well, just because you can hear it in my voice as I ride through this field. It's bumpy and my camera doesn't show because it's got automatic stabilization, but it's a bumpy ride off-road. I took it down a power line last night and it was a pretty rough ride. I've got the tires pumped up really high too. I got them at like 20 PSI. So if you're gonna be using this bike off-road, I say get a suspension seat post and don't keep your tires that firm. Put them at like 13 or so. Now power-wise on the Zebra, feels pretty good. I mean, it takes you up to 25 miles an hour on the throttle. Let's run it up to speed here real quick. It's like 24.9 or so. It caps out. 24 point, yeah, right there. It hit like 25 and you just feel it cut out immediately. So that's the max speed that you're gonna get out of this bike. And I think they're just trying to follow the laws. If you want to change that, you'd have to alter the bike internally. You'd have to change the controller if you wanted any more speed than that, but really that's pretty adequate for what most people are doing with these fat tire bikes. I mean, 90% of the time I'm just cruising around doing this at 15 miles an hour or less, so 25 is plenty. Good power delivery on it. I will say that the throttle, it's got a slight delay in the throttle, and I'm not sure if they do that on purpose. That way if you accidentally engage it, you have a split second to, look at that, see, it's not even, you have that split second to close your hand before the throttle kicks back in. Maybe that's a safety thing, but it just takes one extra split second to kick in on the throttle. I did say the steering felt heavier, but it's really not bad at all. It's not even noticeable. I'm nitpicking with this stuff, really. This is a sharp looking bike. It's a fun bike. We're gonna go test the power. You saw the top speed over there, 24.9. We're gonna go test the hill climb power on it right now. Oh yeah, it is a nice smooth ride. I mean, we're carving up this path pretty nice. And there's another thing I'll point out here too, and that is, you can probably hear me talking because the tires they're not like excessively loud. These are the Kenda Crusade tires on here, which are quiet for as big as they are. A lot of times those, I mean the Kenda Juggernauts, forget it. I hate those tires, they're so loud. And even the CST tires can be loud at times. These, you have a hum, but it's not annoyingly loud. So good choice on the tires. I do like Kenda Crusades, good choice Himiway. All right, here we go, hill climb on the Himiway Zebra. I don't have the front fender on because I knew I was gonna change the tires, so I didn't put it on, but it does come with a front fender. Let's see what this bike's got. Throttle only, up the hill. The fastest 750 watt bikes typically go 22 seconds up here, right? This is a heavy bike. I'm gonna say it's gonna do it maybe 24, be my guess, but let's see. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, off to a good start. Climbing steady. And I hope people realize too that this is throttle only. I'm asking the bike to do everything. If you pedal up these hills, these bikes have no problem climbing these hills. Steeper spot. And then right here is where we cut the time. So we'll go back and check and see what that was in the editing, but I mean, it's solid hill climb. You know, this bike has a more aggressive seating position. You lean a little bit over, but I can't really say I'm that uncomfortable on it. I mean, it feels pretty good. Maybe I would raise them up. I don't know. I mean, that's something easy you can change if you want, but I'm not really complaining about this seating position right now. It feels pretty good. All right, here we go. This is my torture test where I make the bikes fail. This short, steep little hill. No 750 watt bike has made it up this hill yet. So I don't think this one's gonna make it either, but let's see what happens. Yeah, it doesn't have enough momentum going in. This is my torture test. I want to see what kind of torque the bikes have. And is it gonna stay there? Okay. Torturous. No bike has made this yet, other than the ones that have just 2,000 watts of ridiculous power. So not a knock on this bike at all. It did about exactly what all the other ones do. I just like to really put the motor to the test. All right, let's do that one more time because this is important to know. I always make these bikes fail on these hills, and people are probably like, "Oh, these bikes don't have any hill climb power." Yeah, they do. It's just when I'm doing that first one, throttle only, I'm torturing this thing, making it fail. Well, short, steep little hill like this. What happens if you pedal? Let's pedal up it. I mean, look at that. It goes up with ease, with hardly any input into the pedals. It just needs that little bit extra input from the rider. So this thing will climb really steep hills. It's just you're gonna have to, you get to a really short, steep one like that, yeah, give it a couple pedals. It'll be fine. What do you guys think of the Zebra's looks? It's pretty sharp. I like the color scheme. Battery hidden under here. It's got a great metallic paint job. It really sparkles in the sunlight nice. That rack is pretty huge. I don't even find a bag to fit it. It's got the wood inlay, Himiway style. I like that. It's sharp looking. It's a shame to cover it up with a bag, Himiway in the tail light. Sharp looking bike. It's gonna look even cooler with big fat tires on it. Let's go do that. Okay, back in the garage, safe and sound. We are about to transform this Zebra into the fattest fat tire it can possibly be. I'm excited for this because I've never had a bike with fat tires this big. So I'm gonna show you what I bought first, and then we'll get into hyperspeed and get these babies on there. So what I bought, if you read the Himiway website, it says the Zebra can accommodate 4.8 inch tires, right? So I went out and I bought these, which are actually 4.9. So I upped the ante a little bit. These are Origin 8 Tsunami 26 by 4.9. This is what we're gonna put on there. And I'll let you know, I did test fit this on a different wheel. I had another wheel off one of the other bikes, and I threw this on there really quick just to get an idea what it was gonna look like. And what I can tell you, I used the original tube, the 4-inch tube that was in there, and it felt like there was a lot of play. So I actually went out and bought 4.8 to 5.0 tubes to go in here so that it, rides correctly. So I did buy the tubes and the tires. I test fit this on another wheel. And I brought the wheel inside the house to show Mrs. Citizen, and I just set it down on the kitchen floor in front of her, and I didn't say a word. And she said, "Why are you showing me this wheel, and why is it so huge?" And she could tell. She could actually tell the difference, and she doesn't know much about e-bikes and wheels and tires, and she could tell that it was a lot bigger. So I'm really excited to put this on this bike and see how much it changes, if the fenders fit. I don't know if the fenders are gonna fit, but we got tires, we got tubes. This is what I bought. I'll link everything so you can see what I got, and I'll put all the prices on the screen so you know, but let's put them on. Let's put them on and see what this thing's gonna look like. All right, Zebra, are you ready to transform? Bam, look at that. Awesome. Originate, Tsunamis on there, 4.9-inch tires. This, I don't know, is this coming through on camera? Because this thing looks sick. This is awesome. These tires are way bigger. I mean, it's noticeable. They are taller, they are wider, just all around huge. I think it looks fantastic. There you go. If you want to be the fattest fat tire, I know the Zebra bike can do it. We got 4.9-inch on there. It is, the only drawback I found is you can't run the fenders, which I'm not a big fan of the wraparound fenders anyway, so I'll come up with a different fender solution, but these tires are just too big to do fenders. I mean, I couldn't even get the back wheel on with the fender. I had to take it off before I even put this thing on there. It is extremely wide. Very noticeable on the bike. The fenders, not only are they not really tall enough to allow clearance, but let me, actually, I got one sitting here. It's more the width of the fender, if anything. Turn this into the light so you can see. And then I'll scoot this fender through the back of the tire. Well, I can't even get it on there. You can see. So it doesn't fit width-wise. The edges rub because it's got these pieces that come down. So there's just no way. Even if you could get it fitting height-wise in clearing, it's not, the fender's not wide enough. So if you had fenders that didn't have this lip on the edge, you might be able to run fenders, but not on this bike. Tires are too big now. But that's okay, I'm fine with that. I don't really want the fenders on there because I don't want to hide the tire. It looks so fantastic. I like seeing that big, huge tire. I love the fat tire look. And this is just crazy. I love it. We gotta go out and ride it now. We gotta go test it. It's probably gonna make it even more rolling resistance, but whatever, I don't care about that. I just like the look of it. And believe it or not, these tires, even though they're bigger, they're actually lighter. They're lighter than the ones I took off. These are, I looked it up, they're 1,500 grams, 1,550, I think. The Kenda Crusades that I took off, I weighed one on a scale and it was like 2380 because they have a wire bead in them. And so yeah, actually I made the bike lighter by doing this. I don't know how much weight difference there was with the tubes, but these are definitely significantly lighter tires than the ones I took off, even though they're bigger. We're borrowing the Snap Cycle for a quick side-by-side here. It's very noticeable. The tire on the Himiway is like a full inch taller right now. Big meteor sidewall on it. Let me give you an overhead shot. Don't know how it is on camera, but in person, it is significant. And I'm gonna do one other thing here. I'm gonna take a tape and I'm gonna go around the circumference of the wheel and see the difference. All right, on the regular 26x4 fat tire, looks like it's about 13 on the circumference. Let's check the other tire. Now on the 26 by 4.9, we're at 15. I mean, it's 2 inches more in circumference. It's a noticeable difference for sure. Wow. Well, there you go. Enough comparisons. Let's go see these tires in action and give it a test ride. See how they feel, so if I notice any difference. All right, we're exploring on the Zebra bike. I've been wanting to ride through this open field here. I see it as I drive by all the time. I want to come check it out on the e-bike. I feel like this bike is in its element here. Galloping through the savannah. It's as close as I can get, right? Oh, we got a little lake over here, a little pond. Let's go check it out. But this, I am really digging the look of this. These tires are nice and fat, man. It's in person, it's very noticeable, that's for sure. But let's go. Ooh, I'll park it. Let me just park it right here. Whew, a little rattly on the kickstand there. Well, let me park it so you can see it in the sun. Give you a feel for what the Zebra looks like in the full sunlight. There you go. That's pretty cool looking, man. I like it. I'm digging it. There's a couple things if you're gonna do bigger tires like this. So number one, of course, you can't fit the fenders. here's another thing that I wasn't thinking about or expecting, but these tires are so much bigger, fatter, and taller, it actually raised the minimum seat height by 1 inch. The seat height stock was 32 inches. It's now 33-inch minimum seat height on this bike. I wasn't expecting that. So that's something to know. If you're gonna change to big fat tires like this, you're gonna increase the height of the bike. What else? I did let Papa Citizen ride this bike as well and check it out with the fatter tires on there. He made the comment that he felt the steering felt a little bit heavier. I made that comment after just riding the bike initially. I think it has to do with the rake on the front end. It just feels slightly heavier, and maybe that's exaggerated now with the heavier, well, they're not even heavier, they're lighter tires, maybe, but they're wider tires and bigger tires, so maybe that exaggerated it, but I don't know. It feels the same to me. It was his first time riding it. What else about this bike now? Yeah, so I mean, it works. It works. It's true. It does accommodate larger tires. Honestly, I think you could put 5-inch tires. I put 4.9. The website said it would do 4.8. I think you could put 5.0 tires on this and it would be fine. There's no really any clearance issues with anything. So yeah, good to go. I'm really digging the look of the Zebra bike. I love the gray metallic paint job. Really nice paint job, sharp looking bike. Himiway did a good job on this one. I mean, it's got that Himiway power, you know, it's pretty good off the line. What else to tell you about the Zebra? I don't know. What are your questions you got? Drop them in the comments. I'll do my best to answer if I can. I think it's an upgrade from the Cruiser. I've been on both the Cruiser and the Cruiser step through. I think if I was gonna buy a Zebra, I'd probably buy a step through. I like the convenience. I like the accessibility. More people can ride it. You know, when I have people come over, if it's a step through. All right, so we got good power. We got a big battery, real big battery. We got good Tektro hydraulic brakes. And we also know that this bike can accommodate the fattest of fat tires. So if that sounds like what you're looking for, a big fat tire bike, check out the Zebra. I'll link it below so you can find it easily, but you know, just go to Himiway's website. They got a bunch of options. They still sell the Cruisers and the Escape, but this is one of the new ones, the Zebra, the Cobra Pro, Big Dog. I believe the Cobras might come with 4.8 tires stock on those, so maybe they designed all the new frames to accommodate that size of tire. But if you want fat tires, I know the Zebra does it. So thank you to Himiway for giving me a chance to get out on this bike and to do this, to show that this bike will accommodate that size tire. I've always kind of thought about doing that to other bikes and wondering if it will fit. You know, I didn't want any clearance issues. It's not rubbing or touching anything. It doesn't touch the forks. I haven't tried shifting into first gear yet to see if it would hit on the tire at all, but let's do it right now. Let's just shift it right now and see if it goes in those gears. All right, I just shifted it into first gear and you can see that it's still not even, chain doesn't even touch the wheel or the tire. You know, believe it or not, my stock Rad Rover, the chain rubbed on the tire. It was that close. So I don't think there's any way you're putting these fat tires on like a Rad Rover. So yeah, I haven't seen, other than the fenders not being able to fit, I don't see any fitment issues with these tires at all. I wish I would have bought the 5-inch tires. I don't think I saw those anywhere for sale. It took me a while to find these, but all right, I think that's all I got for you today, but I'm sure there's more to come on the Zebra bike. Check out Himiway's lineup if you're looking for a fat tire electric bike. And if you like content like this, consider hitting subscribe. Hope you found this video fun, helpful, enjoyable, I don't know, entertaining. If you did, hit the subscribe button and check back for some more videos. Thank you so much for watching.